Oh, oh, hey. Hey, I was just putting some stuff away. Hey, it's Wayne Purnell, and this is about how do you keep your projects on track. So we have this thing called a calendar, and you know what? It's starting to fill up, right? So it has 2018 all over it. It's starting to fill up. And we have this thing called a journal, and oh my gosh, it's still relatively new, but it's starting to fill up too. And we have these things that we want to accomplish over the next few days, the next few months, sometime before the end of the year. So the question is, how do you get all that stuff done? Remember yesterday I talked about standing on the edge of a calendar and projecting forward to that end date. Well, great. That's cool. You've got to start with something called a plan. And you've got to start with, Stephen Covey had it right when he said, begin with the end in mind, because you've got to work backwards. And so some of this is about project management, and it's project management light, right? I'm not going to go into this is how you do project management. Although I'm going to go into this is how you do project management. So what you do is, I'm borrowing from something that Brendan Burchard has as a productivity sheet. Now, what I do is I have a big, long, that's called a notepad. I had Anomia there for a second. What I do on every evening, I actually write the time of day in half-hour increments on this sheet. And at the bottom, I have a list of to-dos. Now, those to-dos fit into those half-hour increments, whether that's phone calls with my clients, whether that's preparing their annual plans, whether that is my arranging travel for my next trips coming up, whether that's completing administrative things, or whether that's writing, because I have 2 books in the works right now. And it's all kind of exciting. And it can be a mess. And so this is about how do you keep your projects on track. Now, I have, as I said, borrowed from Brendan here. And it's going to look backwards, darn it, but I think you can see that it says Project 1, Project 2, and Project 3. I think you can also see the time of day, right? Actually, sorry, that's not time of day. That's the to-do list. I have it listed as to-do. And then under to-do, like each project has tasks that need to be done to move them forward. So let's say I'm writing a book. Oh wait, I'm writing 2. So what are the tasks? Well, for one of the books, Amy Morgan and I are in the process of choosing a book cover. We have a little contest going on. We've got some designers working on it for us. It's kind of exciting. So that's one of the tasks. It needs to be done. For the other book that I've got going is we did a pre-release, and you might have been one of the people that helped to get it out there. We hit #1 internationally, and there's still some editing to do. So I'm in the midst of doing that. So project. I'm working on a membership thing that I want people to join me. If you'd be interested in that, stay tuned, because I got a sweet deal coming up for that. It'll be monthly stuff that I roll out. And I'll tell you, when we start, it's going to be sweet. So stay tuned for that. So that's one of my projects too. Now, each of those projects has a to-do. I know that's backwards in here. Let me see who just showed up. Hey, Tony, good to see you. So you start with your to-dos under each project, and if you can list them in the order that makes sense to get them done. For example, you can't edit or publish until you've written, for if you're doing any writing. So you need to set those in sequential order. They go in a sequence, right? So as long as you are working on task #1 under project #1, or maybe you've checked off task #1 and 2, now you have task #3 in project #2. Great. So for each of these, there are to-dos to be done. And for each of these, there are people, which is that piece right there, And I know it's backwards. You could read backwards because you're smart like that. And then and the people piece is, who do I need to reach out to? Who do I need to call? Who do I need to send that email to? And the other part of the people piece is, who am I waiting to hear from? Because sometimes people, it's like you launch stuff out there, but then you need to wait. That's just the way it goes. You know that. So, and imagine before email, oh my gosh, right? You'd send a letter. It would take 2 days, 3 days to get where it needed to go. They'd reply with a letter 2 or 3 days later. Maybe they wrote it over the course of a couple of days. It'd be a week or 2 weeks before that kind of correspondence. Now we're so impatient. So, people, who do you need to reach out to? Who are you waiting on? And if you're waiting for a couple of days, it might be worth it in this age of email and phones to be able to either place a call or shoot another email. And then at the bottom is the word musts. So what must be done for each project? What must be done today? This is your today musts. So this is going to help you track all those things that you've got going. Now, for some of you, like Tony, he was just on a ladder a couple of days ago, replacing a light in his office, right? That was one of those things, like, to work in the office, he has to work on the office, right? So that's a really, really important thing. Sometimes on your to-do list, things like replacing a light bulb or changing a battery in a clock, Tony, those are things that are easily done and could be done fast, right? They still show up on your to-do list. And so are they on the must-do list? Yeah, when they start to be irritating enough, again, one of my favorite sayings is, I made up this saying, I don't know, probably 30 years ago, that a pebble is a really small thing until you find it in your shoe. And so those little things that you could ignore for a while you're working on the big project, they become things that are the must-dos. Things like a light in a professional office, absolutely, you want to make sure that that's taken care of. So that's how you're going to track. Now, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do your tracking? Every night. Every night. Yeah, I go through and I actually make a list. I'm not going to show you what my list says. But I actually go through and make a list that you can see my hours. Sometimes I break them into half-hour increments, and usually I will. And I think it's really important to track what you say you're going to do and what you actually fill your time doing. That's a huge deal. Most people go, yeah, I'll do this, and then by the end of the day they go, how come I still have everything on my to-do list? I only did one thing on my to-do list. Is because you didn't do the things that you said you were going to do. So it's a habit to start to get into. Make your list, make your hours, make things go sequentially, keep your projects in front of you, because it's easy also then to take on other projects accidentally. And what you'll want to do is to go, is this in or is this out? Because if you take on a new project, you're going to be bumping another one that you're already working on. So don't do that, right? So that's pretty much it tonight. I wanted to keep you on track. We're in the second day of the new year. You have some goals, wishes, desires, all that stuff. Good. Wishes and hopes are excellent. The plans to get them done, that's what's going to make it happen. And your ability to practice and take action, even incremental action, which is why there's a list of to-dos. So it could be incremental action, little steps, baby steps for the win, right? So your ability to do that is what's going to get you to your end goal. Okay? I will see you here tomorrow. We'll keep this going. If you've got questions, if you've got comments, if you've got things that you really would like me to be working on with you, I would love to hear it because, I'm coming up with these topics and I'm hoping they're helpful. And if there are things that you're struggling with or that you're seeing as a theme in your life, you're not the only one then. So bounce it off of me and I can help other people based on what you're telling me. Okay? Very good. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your day. Rock this week. We're coming into midweek. And today's Tuesday. Tomorrow, if you haven't signed up for it, get to dynamicleader.com. I know that's backwards on this too. Get to dynamicleader.com and sign up for my Wednesdays with Wayne weekly blog. All right? Every week I've got a blog coming out. So sign up for that. Go to dynamicleader.com. There will be a little pop-up with my picture. And just enter your name, first name, enter your email. You get Wednesdays with Wayne. It's weekly Wednesdays in your inbox. Okay? All right. There you go. Rock it. I'll see you here tomorrow. And until then, keep making your magic. All right. See you soon.